What's up, guys? This is Ryan Johnson with moneybass.com. Thank you for coming back to the channel. And guys, if you like these discussions, exchange of ideas and different thoughts and different perspective on things, please make sure you hit that like button so that way the YouTube algorithm can see that this is something that you guys are really appreciating. So for today, what I wanted to talk about is, why are you fishing? What is it that motivates you? What is it that you like about the sport of fishing itself? So this is going to be my reaction or my thoughts on a video that I saw that was released by Todd Castledine Fishing. Make sure you check out his channel, guys. And in that video, he gave his perspective, being a pro angler, that he pretty much will not fish a tournament if it's not something that has the potential to have a nice payout for it. So for me, the way that I look at it, as far as fishing itself, people will pretty much fish for fun, fish for competition, or you may be fishing for money. And in some ways, it could be all three of those are fulfilled, but some people do not like the competition or the money aspect of it. They just simply want to go out for fun. Make sure you guys in the comment section get active in there. I want to hear your thoughts and your perspective on this. Let me tell you a story that I'm sure all of you can relate to. So for me, when I think of fishing, I just think back to whenever I caught my very first fish. And I was in Tacoma, Washington, fishing with my uncle, and caught a rainbow trout. And to me, at that time, being a little kid, that was the most amazing thing. That I mean, it just seemed so great, so amazing, so much fun. And that experience led me into, I was already really into the outdoors and things like that, but that just gave me a different perspective on things. And from that moment forth, as far as fishing goes, I was hooked. So it was something that I was always into. So that was the first fish that I caught. And I just think from that point, being in South Carolina, being raised in the country, that country setting, I was always into the outdoors. It was always something fun for me. And that kind of carried on into that aspect. So we would spend time as far as fishing out there, being out in the country. We would walk for miles, sometimes through the woods, just me and some of my friends going to different creeks, little ponds. If we saw little streams, any place we could find some water, we figured there were fish in there. So we may catch fish as small as 2-3 inches to fish that were maybe pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, depending on what type of water that we found. And to me, that was something that was always exciting. And just that experience of walking through the woods, just seeing the trees, the different smells, eating berries and things like that on the way, and just seeing different animals, just that whole experience was something that really drew me into it even more. So it was the fishing aspect of it, but it was just that overall experience. And I guess as you get older, it still becomes about the experience. And that experience carried on until my adult years. So for me, it was always about just catching fish, whether it's catfish, brim, just anything that would bite. It was a good day for me. So I eventually purchased a boat, and I was no longer a bank fisherman. I had a nice fishing ski boat. And from there, I got hooked on striper fishing. I would sometimes go out to the lake at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning and be out there till 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Wouldn't even catch a fish, but that experience still kept me out there, kept me motivated. It was just something about the experience that I really loved about it and kept me going. So a few years into that, I met a friend of mine, Ken Roundtree, and he was interested in joining a bass club. So for me, I was working a lot, busy with real estate. And when I wasn't doing that, I was out on the lake trying to catch stripers. He was a striper guy, so he would give me little tips and everything, but he was wanting to transition into bass fishing. Wasn't really interested in it, but I decided to go to the meeting, went to the meeting, met those guys, and it was a wrap. From that moment on, I've been a bass fisherman. So it kind of changed my perspective on everything. So when I went into the club for bass fishing and got introduced to tournament fishing, I wasn't really, at that point, I did not correlate money with fishing, that you could actually make money fishing. My thing was I wanted to get out there and compete against other guys and win a trophy. That was the main thing that I would always talk to people when I was fishing, because I was started off as a co-angler. And I would ask them like, hey, can you, all I really want to do is win a trophy. What do I have to do to win a trophy? and we were out on Lake Gunnersville for one of the tournaments, and I happened to be a co-angler fishing with the president of the club. And I asked him, I was like, we were talking about fishing, and I was like, hey, you know what? I really just want to win a trophy. And then he mentioned something that they had called the Mega Bass Pot. And so I was like, well, yeah, that's all good, but you know, I would really want to just win a trophy. Can you get a trophy if you win the Mega Bass Pot? And he was like, no, you don't get a trophy, but you'll get a lot of money. You can buy a trophy with that money if you win. So I was like, yeah, that sounds good, but I still want a trophy. But as it turns out, we went out that day and I landed that mega bass fish. That was my real introduction to fishing can equal money, because that pot paid out about $5,000. That was kind of like my third month of tournament bass fishing. I was already hooked just from the experience, but that just added another, you know, just another thing to it, something you could brag about, because for me, the money comes and goes, but the experiences, and things like that, those will always stay with you. And for me, just each one of those trophies or plaques or anything that you pick up along the way, each one of those have an experience that comes along with it, with whether it's the person that you fish with, the lake, the jokes that were told, maybe funny things happened, or even remembering certain fish that you caught. All of those experiences are something that for me are very, very valuable whenever you're in the sport of fishing. All right, so just stay with me, guys. I'm getting to that part about the Todd Castledine fishing and his views on the tournament fishing, just fishing in general, being about money, and just kind of tying that in for you guys. So whenever I was watching his video, of course, he is a professional fisherman. That is how he makes his money. So fishing for him is not only a passion, but it is his job. So for most of us, we have a job and we have a passion for fishing. From his perspective, that job part comes first, because that is how he feeds his family. So I can understand that perspective of, you're going to look at these tournaments and basically put them in order of which one do I have the potential for making the best payout and getting the best return on my time, my investment, and basically just time away from your family. How can you kind of gauge what you need to do? And I will put a link to his video in the description. It is a very good video to take a look at, because it may give you some perspective, especially if you are tournament fishing, of things that you can look for, and maybe how you may want to kind of choose and pick the tournaments, or what avenue that you are actually in. Some people may not realize that, hey, I'm fun fishing, but I really do like competition. So maybe let me take a look at this tournament side of it. Maybe something that I'm interested in. Taking into consideration the payouts, the expenses, the gas, lodging, what else is there? Entry fees. And then with some of these tournaments, they have bonuses depending on the type of boat that you have, or the type of truck, or even if you're wearing a certain jersey and you have a certain patch or something like that. So there's different levels to the tournament fishing payouts that can be beneficial if you look into those and just take the time to find out how it can benefit you the most. His perspective was very interesting to me, because it kind of shows that regardless of whether you're fun fishing, fishing for competition, maybe you just want to be in a bass club, and that's pretty much one of the enjoyments that I get, is being in a bass club for the camaraderie with the guys, sharing of experiences, and also just that sharing of information that will help you become a better angler. Or if you are into the professional side and fishing for money, in a way, those are all tied in together for me. And you can't really say, for me, I wouldn't really say one is better or worse than the other one. It just depends on that person and their perspective, and what their goal is that they're trying to reach, and why they're fishing. What is it that you're trying to get out of it? Please take a second to go down to the comments. Let me know what you guys think. I'm really interested in this. We can really go back and forth, have a good dialogue on this, and just share each other's perspectives. And hey, maybe it'll help somebody out. All right, guys, that's pretty much all I have to say for this one. I have my boat back now, so I have to go ahead and get all of this stuff out of here. You can't really see all of the stuff that's on the floor and everything that I need to put back into my boat. But I'm going to head out to the lake. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Get active, get involved in the comments, And always read the description. I try to put some links to some good information in there for you guys also. But all right, guys, I will see you on the next one. Thanks for coming back to the channel. All right, guys.